Hi, y'all. My name is Annika Baylis. I own Prickly Pear Coffee Co. We currently exist as two brick and mortar coffee shops, and we are opening a third location in October, Lord willing. Construction has been delayed, so we're praying that it's October. So when you get to meet with me, I'm sure you'll get all the updates on that as well. We initially started just as a folding table and a Breville espresso machine, which has been so much fun to see as Breville espresso machines have become more popular, like in homes. It's really humbling that everybody has this espresso machine. It's a great machine, but I just picture little me at 18, setting up with my folding table and my plastic tablecloth, and I put stickers on every single cup. This was my COVID passion project that I bought this machine and I was like, I'm just going to have fun with it. I'm going to make coffee for my friends during quarantine, all of the things. So I was a senior in high school when COVID hit. I was moving to Belmont that August. And so the summer before moving to Belmont, I set this table up anywhere in my hometown, anywhere that would have me. It was constantly DMing people or whatnot and asking if I could just set up my little coffee table. That then quickly snowballed into, can you do this at my graduation party? Can you do this at my wedding? And before I knew it, my summer was chock full of running a business. When I moved down to Nashville, at this point I was so excited because I was like, man, this idea is making money and it's fun and I'm loving it. Campus life looked really different because it was COVID. And so this was a great way for me to stay busy off campus, just because it was different. And so when I moved to Nashville, same sort of thing. It was cold calling people. Cold emails is actually my forte. Love to send a cold email, and Instagram DMing and being like, hey, on a Saturday morning, you own this local boutique, and what if we added a little coffee stop here? Like that just brings in more customers. It makes it a whole experience. And so I significantly remember Alexis and Bolt in Germantown. They are no longer there, but Kate is so amazing and took so many chances on me just to give me the space to pop up. And so for almost every Saturday, I think, of my freshman year at Belmont in the fall, I would go with my little coffee table and set up. And I look back so fondly at that time because I think that was the first time in entrepreneurship that I really learned that my priorities looked a lot different than my peers, and I was going to make a lot of sacrifices if this was the journey that I was on. So, while other kids are out at a concert or all the fun things Belmont has to offer on a Friday night, I vividly remember like being in my bedroom floor doing inventory, counting the amount of cups I had and whatnot for the next pop-up the next day. And so from there, that was kind of the beginning here in Nashville, and similar to how it was in Minneapolis, in my hometown, it just continued to snowball. It was, can you do this for this corporate event? Can you do it for this, etc.? It got to the point where I was like, my little folding table is not going to cut it anymore. And I invested in our coffee cart, which you've probably seen if you see Prickly anywhere. This is our iconic lavender purple cart. And she is small but mighty, that is for sure. That thing can crank out a good amount of coffees. So we have since leveled up from the Breville. We have invested in some more legit machinery, and along the way I have just made some really amazing connections, which then led to open doors of the two brick and mortar shops. So our first location is in downtown Nashville at the Batman building, and our second location is at Albion in the Gulch. And our third one that I kind of mentioned is going to be a coffee camper. It's currently being built out. That's where the construction delays are happening, and that is going to be at River North in East Nashville, on the East Bank there. So I would say when I think about the three things that I would love to talk to students about, my first one that comes to mind is actually identity, because I started my business in such formative years. I was 18 at the time. I think a lot of what I've struggled with as an entrepreneur is tying my identity to my business, even to the point where I come home and my husband's like, how was your day? And I'm like, man, Prickly had a really hard day. And he's like, okay, and you? And I'm like, well, Prickly had a hard day, so I had a hard day. And he's like, well, you're not Prickly. So I would honestly say that's what I've been learning even the last 6 months of what that separation looks like. And so that's something that I just feel really passionate about talking to students about, especially in these formative years of both your business and just scientifically as your brain is really developing. We know that we don't have fully fledged frontal lobes until the age of 25. So I'm 23. I don't even have a fully fledged frontal lobe. And so thinking about, what does that kind of identity look like? The second thing that I feel really passionate about is bootstrapping. So we just celebrated 5 years of Prickly Pear in April. And in May was the first time I've ever taken out a loan of any sort by the grace of God. So that has just been really kind of the Lord. But I feel really passionately about bootstrapping. I think there are so many ways that we can steward our resources, finance, connections, people that want to pour into you. The EIRs is a great example. There's so many great ways that you can steward this and do so much with so little. So when all of the odds are against you in the sense that you're young, you might not have the money for this business idea, etc., that is exactly where I think that there is so much potential, because you have a drive and you have a passion that nobody else has, and that's what makes your business you. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing I think is creativity outside the box in the business realm. And this could be for any type of different industry. For me specifically, I have learned that I love coffee, absolutely. I love people, and that's more of why this exists. But on the back end of things, I studied entrepreneurship at Belmont, and so I really love the business side of things. But at the end of the day, if I spend too much time being consumed by the taxes or the finances or the logistics of things, I can really feel hard for me to get my why. And so creatively finding the little joys and finding ways to structure your day, structure your routine to protect yourself, to protect your creativity, to then be able to bring more to the business. And so I'll give you an example. One of our new creative endeavors that we're doing is going to be launching in October, and it is called the Gilmore Girls Coffee Crawl. And if you've seen the show, you're going to love this, but we have partnered up with 22 other coffee shops around Nashville and Franklin. And instead of just being a coffee crawl, it is also bingo. So each square has different ones. So an example is like, get something with oat milk at Fido, because that's totally something Dean would do. Or drop a $5 tip in honor of Miss Patty. We know she's a big spender. So all these little creative things that just, are revenue draws, because it's going to bring so many people to a coffee shop they've never been to before. But it's just creative, and honestly, it's a fun way for me to feel excited about my job because there's newness happening. So I'm really looking forward to getting to meet with y'all, to hearing your passion, your dream, what your creativity looks like in this season. And I'm really honored to be a part of this group of entrepreneurs in residence. They are just so for you, so with you, and so excited to pour into you. So please don't hesitate to reach out, and I look forward to grabbing coffee with you. I do, in fact, know a place where we can do that.